Friends, I'm walking around the ancestral house of Franklin D. Roosevelt. I'm walking around. You see the estates? It's about 110 acres. Is this place bought by James Roosevelt, the father of FDR, Franklin Roosevelt. Hello friends, before entering the house of FDR, let us just listen to the park ranger, what she has to say to us.
Generational wealth, and a lot of that fortune stems from a sugar refining business started in New York City. But they also had, his father had investments in railroads, coal mining, and Manhattan real estate at the time. So that's where they are getting their money from. But even on his mother's side, he does come from considerable wealth. The Delanos, his middle name, his mother's maiden name, made a fortune in the China tea trade. So we go inside the home today, you're gonna see a number of Chinese artifacts and antiques. They are likely family heirlooms passed down from the Delano side of the family. But if you compare and contrast the childhood home of Franklin Roosevelt to the home we're gonna visit today, you can see it looks a lot different. It's still the same home, but simply enlarged. We're gonna fast forward in time to the year 1915. This is when James Roosevelt had already passed away. He passed away in the year 1900, leaving the estate to go to Sarah, and that's why she owns it for the majority of FDR's life. And in the year 1915, Franklin and Eleanor have already been married 10 years, and they're about to have their last child born. They have 6 kids, big family. So they decide to enlarge the family home. It goes from 17 rooms here to the 35-room mansion we're gonna tour today. Really just adding a 3rd story where all the kids' rooms would be, nursery space, playroom, a north and south wing made of fieldstone, FDR's preferred style of architecture. They even changed the siding from what was clapboard to now stucco. And he also adds an interesting little detail to his front porch. That white portico. Does it remind you all of any other home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps reflecting some political aspirations as early on as 1950. He greatly admired his 5th cousin, also uncle by marriage at that point, Teddy Roosevelt. That architecture is also pretty popular at the time, that kind of Dutch colonial revival style, but also making it look a little bit like the White House. At the time, he was serving as Assistant Secretary of the Navy. He was pretty early on in his political career, but I think by putting this kind of style on his main home here, he was openly telling the world who he imagines himself to be one day. All right, so we're gonna head up the ramp here in a moment to go inside the home.
Hello friends, we just entered the house and the park ranger explains more stuff to us.
But before I begin, I'd love to hear from all of you. What do you think of the home? Any first impressions or anything that catch your eye right off the bat? It's a little dark in here. I think that's probably one of the first 2 answers I always hear. They notice all the dark wood accents. Some of the UV filters we have on the windows kind of help prevent some more of that natural light coming in just to protect the historic objects. But yeah, it probably wasn't too much lighter in here in their lifetime.
How would they read?
How would they read? Oh yeah, right? I guess stand by a light, huh? The home was electrified in 1908, so they did have electricity at least at that point. Any other thoughts or impressions?
It's cozy.
Feels cozy, yeah. I talked a lot about outside how it's this 35-room mansion, but for a lot of folks, and you may disagree, that's fine, but once you step right into this door here, you kind of feel like you're in a family home, and that's exactly what it is. It's the home of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a multi-generational home where he could come back to during the White House years, enjoy his hobbies, and do a lot of the things that he enjoyed growing up in an estate like this. You see a lot of reflections of those hobbies decorated all over the walls, especially here in this entry hall. We talked about how he's Assistant Secretary of the Navy, and he actually initially wanted to join the Naval Academy and become a sailor. But his parents discouraged him from going down that career path, thinking it was dangerous, so they encouraged him to go to college instead, which he does go to Harvard and gets a history degree. But do you get the sense that he liked shipping and sailing and naval history at all? Oh yeah, all over the walls, right? Random photos of admirals and captains too. Especially loved studying.
Friends, you're looking at the service elevator to bring all the stuff to the different floors. Hey, we just entered the second floor of the house. The second floor has a lot of paintings and artifacts. This is the boyhood room of FDR. This is where he grew up. FDR loved George Washington. You see in his boyhood room itself, you see the picture of George Washington. Guest bedrooms where plenty of dignitaries came and stayed. That includes Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, King George, Winston Churchill, and a few other people. This is the birth room where FDR was born. This is the bedroom of FDR. He used this bedroom until he died. You will see a wheelchair of FDR because he was attacked by polio. Even when he was a president, he used crutches and the wheelchair because he was affected by polio. We are now entering into the third floor of the house. This is the Eleanor Roosevelt's room. She is the wife of FDR. This is Sarah's room. Sarah is the mother of FDR. She lived in this house until she died. This is the back entrance of the house. People who can enter from the front door and people have to leave at the back door. There is an elevator, but people can also walk outside. Children's room are also in the third floor. This is where the children stayed, and this is also called a nursery. The children's room is where Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, not the Queen Elizabeth, the recent queen, the mother of Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth stayed here, and Queen Wilhelmina from Netherlands also stayed here. I'm taking you guys to the stables of FDR. This is where he kept all the horses, and he used the horses for pastime, and he's a good rider. But for going to Washington DC, he had his own rail track. Okay, we'll quickly go inside. There are no horses, but this is the big stable. He named all the horses, and the horses won a lot of races, looks like. And he named all the horses, and it's called Tacoma, Badger, Badgers. Look at this. Lady Luck. Oh my. New Deal. Like that. There are several places. And this is where they drink their water. And each horse had its own to drink. These are all the stables. I mean, used to put on the back of the horse to ride. Some of the photographs of different horses. And you walk behind. They had a huge farm, and they planted everything. This looks like a glass house. There's a big nursery here. There's nothing inside. This is the back side of the stable. It says 1886 on top. Here's the entrance. Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Hannah Eleanor Roosevelt. Both are buried here in their own space, not taking up any public space. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video. Until then, goodbye.